Hi, my name is Schumann. I'm an executive career and life coach and author of the book Falling in Love with Your Job. Last week I talked to you about leadership, what it means to be a leader, which is basically about creating a vision, strategy and momentum. And this week I want to take the subject further by talking to you about leadership styles. What leadership styles are available and which one should you use? Well, leadership styles are on a spectrum between using your authority and giving people freedom. Let's put this on the board. If this is the spectrum, then at the top you have using authority, and at the bottom you have giving people freedom. And there are a range of styles on the spectrum. It starts at the top with a cohesive leadership style. What that means is you demand compliance. You force people to do what you want them to do. Below that, you have an authoritative style. It's still quite a firm style, but rather than using force, you convince people to do what you want them to do based on your authority. Then we have an affiliative leadership style. And this style is designed to maintain or create harmony by using more charm than authority. Below that, we have a democratic style. Here we involve staff in the decision process by asking for their opinion or even jointly making decisions. Then we have a pace-setting style, where the leader sets a framework and standards, but leaves his or her staff freedom how to work within that framework. And finally, we have a coaching style, where the leader does not provide solutions, but empowers and coaches his or her staff to create their own solutions and work with autonomy. So we have a range of different leadership styles available. Which one would be right for you? Well, it is a trick question and you probably know that. This is not about applying one particular leadership style. The conscious leader knows all of these styles and uses them as and when appropriate. Let's look at a few examples. For example, when would you be using the cohesive leadership style? Well, an easy example would be the military. If you're in a war, you're a commander and you're in the field in a battle, you have to demand strict compliance to your order. There can't be any conversation about whether your orders are right or not. You need to apply a cohesive leadership style. But also let's use a civil example. You have a business and one of your employees doesn't treat your customers well. It's quite serious. It threatens the reputation of your business. You can try to coach them or use an affiliative leadership style, but if this doesn't work, at one point you need to be moving to the authoritative or cohesive leadership style to solve the problem. Now let's look at an example when the democratic leadership style would be useful. This style is useful if you want to get buy-in from your staff. For example, you want to develop shared values, mission statements, or service standards. And it's important to you that your staff really buy in, they're really committed to it and stand behind the solution. And you get this by involving them in the process. And finally, let's look at an example when coaching might be a good leadership style. Coaching is good for developing people. Let's assume you have a member of staff who always comes to you with problems and never with solutions. Well, if that's the case, you may want to spend some time to coach that person. Sit together with him and her and work through problems together to guide them through the process of creating your own solutions and ask them coaching type questions that will enable them to become more resourceful. And the more often you do it, the better will they become at working autonomously. I know quite a lot of people who believe that they need to be working predominantly in one area on the spectrum, and it's often the very top, the cohesive, authoritative leader. They think they need to be strong, no bullshit, demanding that people follow them. And that's often because they've seen a particular style of leadership portrayed on TV shows or by famous leaders or by people in the organization if it has a certain culture and they think they need to be like that person. But the thing is, if you're always working with these styles, it's often driven by fear or by a very strong ego. And it's not always the most productive leadership style. What happens if you always use these styles of being coercive and authoritative? You create a very unpleasant and unproductive work environment. You basically create robots. You stifle innovation. People just do as they are told. And it really has a detrimental impact on staff engagement. And then there are people who believe that they should be working mostly using the democratic leadership style. Well, that has problems too, because applying a democratic leadership style means talking to a lot of people, asking for their opinions, and then if you don't take the opinions on board, then this can backfire and the whole process can take a long time, and that's not always effective. It really is about using the whole spectrum of leadership styles and picking the right one for the right occasion and the right circumstances. Personally, I've been managed by both leaders who use fear to motivate staff and leaders who use heart and vision. What kind of leader do you want to be? Well, if you would like to explore your current leadership style and how you could develop it further, then do send me a message. I would love to hear from you. That's all from today. Thanks for watching this video, and more soon.